Hey, what is going on, you guys? It is Mr. No Sleep here from Old School RuneScape, and welcome to a brand new video for you all today. So in today's video, I have for you guys loot from 3,000 Dark Beasts, and as the, text on screen says, originally I was going to be killing 5,000 of these. However, at around KC 1500, I realized just how slow these Dark Beasts really are, and their drop table really wasn't that impressive for me to want to extend onwards to 5,000. So disregard the scuffed intro. This is just loot from 3,000, but nevertheless, I hope you guys enjoy the video. I was killing about 500 Dark Beasts a day, so this did take me about 6 days to complete, and I really didn't think Dark Beasts were as slow as they were. I actually learned quite a bit about Dark Beasts while making this video. First things first, let's get into the requirements. So you do need 90 Slayer to kill Dark Beasts, and they can be found in the Catacombs of Corsair or in the Mourner headquarters, which you will access while you're doing Morning's Ends Part 2. Now, I don't actually know if you need Morning's Ends Part 2 to kill the Dark Beasts in the Catacombs, but I'm pretty sure you need to have started that quest to kill them in the Mourners area. So I did decide to kill them in the Mourners area. I didn't want to do anything in the Catacombs of Corsair, simply because there's only a spawn of 2 in the Catacombs, and there's much more in this area, and this is also not multi, so it just seems to be more relaxing, and I do think most people kill Dark Beasts in this area. So once you do hit 90 Slayer, these can be assigned by Konar, Duradel, Neve, or Steve, and they are about 225 Slayer XP per kill, as well as 220 HP and 120 defense. So they do take a while to kill. You know, my method throughout this whole video was to not bring a cannon or anything like that, just kind of stick with prayer gear and protect melee the whole entire time, as well as use a rapier. Rapier is really good for stab bonus, and it is very accurate, so I was hitting consistent, 20s and 30s on these Dark Beasts throughout the whole time, and it was a little bit faster because of that. I do think I was averaging anywhere from 75 to 80 kills per hour with this method, and I was also getting a lot of clue scroll drops, which you guys can see early on, about on average 1 every 100 kills. And I would say, other than the clue scrolls, the only other drop to get genuinely excited for is this one right here, which is what Dark Beasts are famous for, the infamous Dark Bow. Starting the video at the price of 763k per Dark Bow, and I will tell you, by the end of the video, by the time we get to the price check, that price of 763k will definitely be different than it is in this clip, so keep that in the back of your mind for later on. And yeah, in general, the Dark Bow is a great special attack weapon for range, and as soon as the ballista came out, it was devalued pretty heavily, but it's still pretty effective. You guys will see in some clips at the very end of the video that I myself did take it out in the wilderness and in PvP, and I did try it out on a few people just to show you guys what it is capable of, so stay tuned for that. And while the Dark Bow is a 1 in 512 drop, the only drop from Dark Beast that is rarer than that is this right here, the Curved Bone, which is untradeable and has been seen in many of these loot videos over the past year, and that is of course 1 in 5,000, and I believe it's 1 in 5,000 from every monster that it is dropped from, whether it's a boss or a normal monster. So yeah, not too much use for it. I do believe Dark Beast drop Long Bones as well, which isn't as rare as the curved one, but nevertheless it is free construction XP once you turn in the curved and the long bones to the bone collector in the Dorgeshan cave area. So I didn't actually do that in this video, but I will do that soon enough. Moving on back to the drop table, I do recommend that if you are going to be killing Dark Beasts, whether you're on task or off task, to always bring a herb sack and a gem bag, because they do drop a lot of herbs that do add up over time. Not so many gems, but I would still bring a gem bag anyway. It is free GP at the end of the day, so you might as well. Dark Beasts also drop 14 different seeds, but I myself was only picking up a few of them: the Torstal, the Snapegrass seed, the Snapdragon, as well as the Potato Cactus seed. Those are the most valuable ones out of the 14, and I do recommend you pick those up as well. And alongside the seeds, they do have some decent alks, and each of these rune alks are about 1 in 128. Now correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe there was an update in Old School RuneScape a few years ago where they did look at the Dark Beast drop table and they said to themselves, this isn't the greatest drop table for a tier 90 Slayer monster. Maybe we should buff it just a little bit, make it similar to Wyverns. And I gotta be honest with you, I'm not too sure if they ever actually did that, because the drop table, as you can see here, just close to 1,000 kills in, really isn't that impressive. A very small amount of rune items stacking up over time, and the only benefit early on that I was seeing was the common drop of the hard clue scroll, which was pulled in 2014 to be added onto the Bloodveld and the Dark Beast drop table, and thank God that it passed, because had the clue scrolls not been added to the Dark Beast drop table, then this video would have been much shorter than it is, because I gotta be honest with you, you know, for such a high level Slayer monster and something that takes such a long time to kill, even being max with decent bonuses and everything, it really isn't that beneficial. You know, if you really look at all the drops and the fact that the only rare that you can get from this Dark Beast is the Dark Bow, and the Dark Bow hovering at just around 600 to 750k at a peak price, really isn't that motivating. You know, maybe killing them in the catacombs of Kourend and getting Dark Totem pieces makes this a little bit more of an incentive to kill them, and you know, they are good for Brimstone keys as well because they're such high combat. I can see that, but as for their normal drop table, really not that impressive, as most of you guys can see over time. And here we are at around kill 1200 of these Dark Beasts, banking our second Dark Bow of the 3000 kills overall. And as you can see, the price did go from 763k to 699k just in about 2 days time. So yeah, it was pretty amazing to see the Dark Bow drop that much, and I was pretty unsure as to why it went down in price. I mean, I didn't really see any world that was crowded with people here, so I guess maybe just the demand for Dark Bows has gone down over time. Not too sure, but with all of the range updates regarding the different weapons, especially the dragon throwing axes, the ballista as mentioned before, the dragon knives, and many other things related to range, I can assume that is some of the reasons as to why the Dark Bow isn't high in price as it used to be. Maybe in the future though, Jagex will add an addition onto this Dark Bow or something that makes it more powerful, more popular, or more useful, and maybe then the price will go up over time, therefore making this Dark Beast task, this very long, very boring task, a little bit more worthwhile to do for the average player. And for all you Iron Men out there, man, I wouldn't even bother with Dark Beasts. I mean, I'm not too sure why Iron Men would ever need a Dark Bow, maybe for specking Zora if you're going for fast kills or something like that, but there's really no use for Iron Men or Ultimate Iron Men or Hardcore Iron Man, whatever Iron Man is watching this video, to use a Dark Bow, at least not that I can think of. If you can think of one, maybe leave a comment below. But yeah, I think if the drop table does get looked at just a little bit, maybe a little bit more seeds, maybe some more alchables, I guess, or just maybe some more rares on the Dark Beast drop table, then I do think that there is potential here. I'm not trying to like moan and complain about the drops, but I do think for something that is 90 Slayer and very high combat, it should actually have some decent worthwhile drops. Alright, well, we have spent a lot of the video criticizing the drop table of this monster, so let's talk a little bit about some positives that this monster has to offer while killing it, and that is the fact that I was able to be on 3 accounts during this whole video just because of how relaxing and how little clicking is involved while actually at Dark Beasts. And the main reason for that is because there actually is an attack style difference between you hitting the Dark Beast and the Dark Beast hitting you. If you attack the Dark Beast first, then you do have to pray magic and melee because it'll attack you with both magic and melee. However, if you sit there and you let the Dark Beast attack you first and you just sit there with auto retaliate on, then you only have to pray melee the whole entire time and you virtually never get hit at all, and it makes it very relaxing, very safe, you know, only having one attack style on you. You're pretty much guaranteed not to die, which is maybe why I ran into this top page Hardcore Iron Man. Nah, big shout out to Alcan though. I was doing a clue scroll and he did choose the same world that I was in, so it's nice to run into him. On a side note, alongside the herb sack and the gym bag, I was bringing 2 super combats and 5 prayer potions every single inventory, and of course the top 2 rows I was bringing some things that would help me alongside doing the hard clue scrolls that I was getting on a consistent basis, so that is why I was bringing those items. And anytime I banked, I would always use my max cape to go directly to the crafting guild, and I also used the max cape because it was giving me some pretty good prayer bonus, and I really didn't think that a fire cape was necessary here. However, if I had an R.D. cloak or an inferno cape, I probably would have used that instead. And I also get the question all the time if I'm ever going to be going for the inferno cape, and the answer to that is yes, most likely in 2020. Don't think I'll be doing it anytime at the remainder of this year. Just really trying to focus on the loot series and maximizing the amount of videos that I do put out, because I really want to get done with every single monster in the game, and if I do intend on sticking to that goal, it's going to take me about 3 more years at the current rate that we're going. So I have a lot of things to do and I'm always busy with something. So yeah, I'm not trying to give a cop-out answer, but that is just to address that issue. And here we are almost 1 week into the video, 3,000 charges gone from the Bone Crusher, and just had to kill a few more to match it up with the Slayer ring log and get that 3,000 KC exactly. And as shown in the Slayer log here, a very clean 3000 KC overall. Really did take a lot longer than I expected, and certainly wasn't as exciting as I thought it would be, but nevertheless we did finish it, and although we didn't get to 5,000, at least we got to 3. Managed to pick up 23 hard clue scrolls along the way, so let's go ahead and open all of them right here, right now. I know a lot of you guys look forward to the clue scrolls in this series, so I always like to save the caskets for the end of the video, and just for future reference, you know, it really does help me when you guys watch the video start to finish. But I know a lot of you guys just want to see the overall recap of the monster, the clue scrolls, all that stuff, so I'll always try to make the top comment and pin the top comment to be the price check time, so that you guys don't have to waste your time if you don't want to while watching the video. So that is something to keep in mind for the future. But yeah, you know, overall we did make just about 2.8 to 3 mil from all of these clue scroll caskets, which isn't too bad. Our very best reward was 491k, so no Robin Hood hat, no third age, and actually no master clue either, which I was very surprised about because I actually did want to do a master clue, so we didn't get one, unfortunately. Moving on though, let's go ahead and do our very first price check from these dark beasts. All of the rune items and the seeds, ores, bars, as well as the death talismans does come out to be just about 7.2 mil. Not too bad, was actually more than I was expecting it to be, and it's nice to see those death runes, blood runes, as well as all of those alks did add up over time. Some pretty unique drops, you know, featuring that black battle axe, the death talismans, and the adamant square shields. Not too sure if the first two items are good for anything, but I know the last one is good for clue scrolls, so at least that's something to keep in mind for you Iron Men out there. And the second price check, all of the herbs, the gems, and the uncommon drops, as well as the dark bows, do come out to be just about 3.9 mil. In a time span of about 6 days, that dark bow did go from 763k to 616k. Well, we go ahead and we add that 3.9 to the 7.3, and it does come out to be just about 11.2 mil in drops and the dark bows from 3,000 dark beasts, with an additional 3 mil from all of the clue scrolls that we did do throughout the making of this video. A lot of strength XP, a lot of HP XP, as well as a decent amount of prayer XP gained from 3,000 dark beasts. Took about 9 days total. The supply cost was about 1.2 to 1.3 mil for this video overall. So overall, just about 13 mil profit from 3,000 dark beasts. Now, as I'm doing this voiceover, it is the night of July 2nd, 2019, and the dark bow is at an all-time low of 616k. Let me show you the power that comes from this amazing weapon, and I'm going to show you why it should be more than 616k. Just take a look at this amazing impact from these dragon arrows inside of this dark bow. Simply one hitting this lumberjack girl, not too sure what she was doing. And after I visited the woodcutting guild, I checked out some fishing spots. Didn't get as lucky as I did there. As promised, I did check out the wilderness too, and the same thing happened. I tell you what, these people are clicking their teleports faster and faster these days. Nevertheless, I did feel that it was necessary to show you guys the amazing impact that this dark bow can have on your opponent if you're in PvP. Of course, I was just attacking people who couldn't fight back, you know, but if you're gonna be mining, fishing, or woodcutting in a PvP world, then you do have to take the risk of being in said PvP world. So yeah, I just figured I'd do some fun things for the end of this video for you guys. And that is about it for this one, guys. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your day to watch it. I will see you guys in less than a week with my brand new loot video, and it is called Loot from 3000 Dagannoth King. So I'll see you guys then. Thank you always for the support, and until next time, Mr. No Sleep out.